The space station called Horizon's Edge was always busy. Ships came and went every hour. Aliens of all kinds walked through its metal halls. Some had scales. Some had fur. Some had skin you could see through. They all came here to trade, to talk, and to make deals. Kan Do-yoon walked through the main marketplace with tired eyes. He had just finished moving cargo from one ship to another. His back hurt. His hands were rough from years of hard work. He was 34 years old, but some days he felt much older. Do-hyun was not special. At least, that is what he told himself. He was just a man from Korea who had left Earth 3 years ago. He had been a medic in the army once. He had seen war. He had seen death. Now he moved boxes on a space station because it kept him busy and kept him far from memories he did not want. The marketplace was loud. Vendors shouted in languages Do-hyun did not understand. Strange smells filled the air. Some were sweet. Some were terrible. He walked past a stall selling purple fruit from a world he had never heard of. He walked past another stall where a creature with 8 arms was fixing broken machines. Then he saw the child. She was small. Very small. She belonged to a species called the Palori. The Palori had pale skin that was almost see-through. If you look closely, you could see their blood moving beneath their skin. Their eyes were large and dark, like pools of black water. This child had skin that glowed a soft blue color. Do-hyun had learned that meant she was curious about something. The little Palori girl was walking away from a merchant stall. She was looking at everything around her with wonder. Her small feet carried her further and further from where she should be. Do-hyun looked around. No parent, no guardian. The child was alone in the crowd. He should keep walking. It was not his problem. He had cargo to move tomorrow. He needed sleep, but he did not keep walking. Instead, he watched the child. Something in his chest felt tight. He had seen lost children before. In the war, in the rubble of broken buildings, he had carried them out. Sometimes they lived. Sometimes they did not. A loud noise made him turn his head. Near the edge of the marketplace, a group of aliens were arguing. They were big creatures with gray skin and too many teeth. Smugglers, Do-hyun guessed. He had seen their kind before. They moved illegal goods through the station and paid bribes to look the other way. The argument was getting worse. One of them pushed another. The pushed one stumbled into a stack of cargo containers. The containers shook. Something inside them made a hissing sound. Do-hyun's blood went cold. He knew that sound. Unstable fuel cells. One of the smugglers pulled out a plasma weapon. It was old and poorly maintained. The kind that misfired if you looked at it wrong. Everything happened at once. The weapon fired. It missed its target. The plasma bolt hit the hissing cargo container. The container exploded with a sound like thunder. Metal flew everywhere. Sharp pieces of the container became deadly weapons. They shot through the air in all directions. Aliens screamed and ran. Bodies fell. Do-hyun did not think. His body moved before his mind could catch up. The little Palori girl was standing right in the path of the flying metal. She had frozen in fear. Her blue glow had turned white. Her dark eyes were wide with terror. Do-hyun ran. His legs pumped. His lungs burned. The world seemed to slow down around him. He could see a large piece of metal spinning toward the child. It was jagged and sharp. It would cut her in half. He was not going to make it. The distance was too far. The metal was too fast. But he did not stop running. At the last moment, Do-hyun threw himself forward. His body crashed into the child and wrapped around her. He turned his back to the explosion. He made himself into a shield. The metal hit him. It did not feel like he expected. There was no pain at first. Just pressure. Then heat. Then a strange cold that spread through his body. More pieces hit him. 1, 2, 3. He felt them punch through his jacket and into his skin. Something wet ran down his back. He knew it was blood. The child was crying beneath him. Small sounds of fear. But she was alive. He could feel her tiny body shaking against his chest. Do-hyun tried to speak. He wanted to tell her it was okay. He wanted to tell her she was safe. But his mouth would not work. His vision was getting dark around the edges. He heard shouting. People were running toward them. Or maybe away from them. He could not tell anymore. The little girl looked up at him. Her dark eyes met his. Her skin was still white with fear. But there was something else there too. She did not understand what had happened. She did not understand why this strange creature had fallen on top of her. Do-hyun smiled. At least he tried to smile. He hoped it worked. Then the darkness took him. The last thing he felt was the small hand of the Polori child grabbing his finger, holding on tight, like she did not want him to go. But Do-hyun was already gone. His eyes closed. His body went limp. The blood pooled beneath him on the cold metal floor of the marketplace. The child screamed for help. Her voice was high and thin and full of fear. And somewhere in the crowd, her mother heard her daughter's cry and began to run. Do-hyun dreamed of Earth. He dreamed of rain falling on green mountains. He dreamed of his mother's voice calling him home for dinner. He dreamed of a time before the war, before the blood, before he learned what it meant to hold a dying person in his arms. Then he woke up. The first thing he saw was light. Soft and white and strange. It did not look like any light he knew. It moved like water across the ceiling above him. The second thing he saw was faces. Many faces. All of them looking down at him. They were Polori. Their see-through skin showed the movement of their blood. Their large dark eyes studied him like he was something they had never seen before. And maybe he was. Maybe humans were rare out here. Maybe they had never seen one this close. Do-hyun tried to sit up. Pain shot through his back like fire. He gasped and fell back down. One of the Polori made a sound. It might have been concern. Or surprise. Do-hyun could not tell. Then he heard a voice speaking Korean. Stay still. Do not try to move. You are badly hurt. Do-hyun turned his head. A woman stood near his bed. She was human. Korean, like him. She had short black hair and tired eyes that looked like they had seen too much of the universe. Where am I? Do-hyun asked. His voice was rough and weak. You are on a Polori diplomatic ship, the woman said. My name is Baek Sujin. I work as a translator on the station. They called me because you kept talking in your sleep. In Korean. None of them could understand you. Do-hyun closed his eyes. He remembered the marketplace. The explosion. The child. The girl, he said suddenly. His eyes opened wide. The little one. Is she? She's alive, Sujin said quickly. She is safe. Because of you. Do-hyun let out a long breath. The tension left his body. Good. That was good. Sujin looked at him with a strange expression. You have been unconscious for 2 days. The Polori doctors worked very hard to save you. They have never operated on a human before. They did not know if you would survive. But I did, Do-hyun said. Yes, they find this very surprising. Sujin paused. The metal went through your lung. It touched your spine. By their understanding of biology, you should be dead. Do-hyun almost laughed. Almost. Humans are stubborn. So I told them. The door to the room opened. A Polori woman entered. Her skin shifted colors as she walked. Yellow, then blue, then a deep purple. Behind her came a small figure. The child from the marketplace. The child's skin glowed a soft pink now. She held something in her hands. a small object made of twisted metal and colored string. It looked like a toy. Or a gift, the woman spoke. Her voice was musical and strange. Sujin translated. This is Yura. She is the child's mother. She is a diplomat for the Polori Concord. She has come to thank you. Yura bowed her head low. The purple color of her skin grew deeper. Sujin had told Do-Yoon earlier that purple meant gratitude. Deep emotion. The child walked forward. She was shy. Her large eyes studied Do-Yoon's face. Then she held out the object in her hands. She made this for you, Sujin said. She calls it a thank you gift. For the big soft one who fell on her. Do-Hyun took the gift. It was light and strange and beautiful in a way he did not fully understand. He looked at the child and tried to smile. Thank you, he said softly. The child's skin turned pink again. She hid behind her mother's leg. Another Polori entered the room. This one was older. His skin was a flat gray color that showed no emotion at all. He moved slowly and with great purpose. The other Polori in the room stepped aside to make way for him. Sujin's voice dropped to a whisper. That is Elder Thomas's. He is very important. Very powerful. Be careful what you say. Elder Thomas's stopped at the foot of Do-Yoon's bed. He studied the human for a long moment. His dark eyes gave away nothing. Then he spoke. Sujin translated. The elder says he does not understand what you did. He says the child was not of your species, not of your family, not of your responsibility. He asks why you would give your life for her. Do-Han was quiet for a moment. He looked at the elder. Then he looked at the child peeking out from behind her mother. I saw her standing there, Do-Hyun said. I saw the metal coming toward her. I knew she would die if I did not move. He paused. So I moved. Sujin translated. Elder Thomas's responded. The elder says this is not an answer. He asks what you expected to gain. What reward did you hope for? Do-Hyun felt tired. So very tired. I did not expect anything. I did not think about rewards. I just saw a child who was going to die. And I could not let that happen. Silence filled the room. The Polori looked at each other. Their skins shifted colors in ways Do-Hyun could not read. Elder Thomas's spoke again. The elder says your answer troubles him, Sujin translated. He says a species that acts without calculation is dangerous, unpredictable. He does not know what to make of you. Do-Hyun closed his eyes. Tell him I am just a tired man who did not want to watch a child die. There is nothing more to understand. When he opened his eyes again, Elder Thomas's was still watching him. The gray of his skin had not changed, but something in his eyes was different. Curiosity, perhaps, or concern. The elder wishes to speak with you again, Sujin said. When you are stronger. He says he has many questions about your species. Do-Han nodded weakly. He was already falling back towards sleep. The medicine the Polori had given him was pulling him down into darkness. The last thing he saw before sleep took him was the little girl waving goodbye. Her skin glowed a warm gold color. He did not know what that color meant, but somehow it made him feel like everything would be okay. 5 days passed. Do-Han grew stronger. The Polori medicine worked in ways human medicine could not. His wounds closed faster than they should have. The pain in his back became a dull ache instead of a sharp fire. On the 6th day, Elder Thomas's came for him. 2 young Polori helped Do-Hyun walk to a large room deep inside the ship. The room was round and filled with soft white light. Cushions covered the floor. Several Polori sat in a circle, waiting for him. Sujin was already there. She looked nervous. Her hands were pressed together in her lap. They want to understand you, she said quietly as Do-Hyun lowered himself onto a cushion. They have been talking about nothing else since you woke up. What you did has confused them deeply. Do-hyun looked around the circle. Elder Thomases sat directly across from him. Beside the elder was a young Polori with pale blue skin. Sujin had told Do-hyun this was Veth, a scholar who studied other species. "Ask your questions," Do-hyun said. "I will answer what I can." Elder Thomases spoke. His voice was slow and careful. Sujin translated. "The elder says the Polori have a concept called calculated sacrifice. It means a person may give their life only when the math makes sense. The value of what is saved must be greater than the value of what is lost. A soldier may die for a general. A worker may die for a leader. These trades make sense." She paused. "But you are a cargo worker. The child is the daughter of a mid-level diplomat. By their calculation, your life and hers are nearly equal. The trade does not make sense. Why would you do it?" Do-hyun was quiet for a long moment. He did not know how to explain something he had never needed to put into words before. "On Earth," he finally said, "we have a saying. Children are the future. It does not matter whose child it is. All children are precious. All children deserve to live." The Polori murmured among themselves. Veth leaned forward with great interest. "But she is not of your species," Veth said through Sujin. "She is alien to you. Her future does not affect your people. Why would you care if she lived or died?" Do-hyun felt something twist in his chest. Old memories rose up like ghosts. "I was a soldier once," he said slowly. "A medic. My job was to save lives. I served in a war on Earth, a terrible war." He looked down at his hands. They were scarred and rough. "One day, we were in a city that had been bombed. Buildings had fallen. People were trapped. I heard a child crying. The room was very quiet now. All the Polori watched him with unblinking eyes. She was a little girl, maybe 7 years old. She was trapped under broken concrete. Her leg was crushed. She was so scared." Diane's voice became rough. "My commander told me to leave her. He said we did not have time. He said more bombs were coming." Sujin translated in a whisper. Her own eyes were wet. "I did not leave her. I pulled her out. I carried her to safety. The building collapsed behind us. My commander was very angry with me." Do-hyun looked up at Elder Thomases. "But the girl lived. She is probably a grown woman now. Maybe she has children of her own." Elder Thomases was silent. The gray of his skin had not changed, but his eyes were different now. There was something in them that had not been there before. "You risk your life for children," Veth said. "Any children, even children of other species. This is normal for humans?" Do-hyun thought about the question. "Not all humans," he admitted. "Some humans are selfish. Some humans are cruel. But many of us feel this way. Yes. When we see a child in danger, we act. We do not think about calculations or rewards. We just move. This is instinct?" Another Polori asked. "Yes," Do-hyun said. "And also choice. We feel the instinct, and then we choose to follow it." The Polori began talking among themselves in their musical language. Do-hyun could not understand the words, but he could see the colors of their skin changing. Blue to purple to colors he did not know. Veth turned back to him. The young scholar's skin was a troubled shade of green. "This frightens us," Veth said through Sujin. "A species that acts without calculation. A species that throws itself into danger without thought. How can we predict what you will do? How can we trust you?" Do-hyun understood the fear. He really did. "You can trust us because of this," he said. "We protect the weak. We save the helpless. We shield children from harm, even children that are not our own. Even children we have never met. Even children of species we do not understand. He paused. If you fear what humans will do without thinking, then fear this. Fear that we will put ourselves between your children and danger. Fear that we will bleed and die to keep them safe. This is what humans are. The room was silent for a long time. Then Elder Thomas spoke. His voice was softer than before. Sujin translated. The elder says you have given him much to think about. He says the Pelori have lived among the stars for 10,000 years. They have met many species, but they have never met a species like yours. Doyun did not know what to say to that, so he said nothing. Elder Thomas stood slowly. The other Pelori stood with him. The meeting was over, but before he left, Veth approached Dohyun. The young scholar's skin was still troubled green, but there was curiosity there too. I hope we meet again, human, Veth said. I think there is much more to learn about your kind. Then they were gone, and Dohyun was alone with Sujin. Wow, she said quietly. I think you just changed how they see humanity forever. Dohyun shook his head. I did not do anything special. I just told the truth. Sujin smiled sadly. Sometimes the truth is the most special thing of all. They sat together in the white light of the room. Two Koreans far from home, surrounded by aliens who were only beginning to understand what it meant to be human. The news came on the 8th day. Hyen was sitting in the medical bay when Sujin rushed in. Her face was pale. Her hands were shaking. The smugglers, she said. The ones who caused the explosion. They are part of a larger group. A syndicate. They control illegal trade in this whole sector. Do-hyun felt cold. What do they want? You. Sujin sat down heavily. Word spread about what happened in the marketplace. A human stopped their operation. Made them look weak. They want revenge. 3 of their ships are coming to the station. They will be here in 6 hours. Do-hyun closed his eyes. He had known peace could not last. It never did. I should leave, he said. Get on a cargo ship. Draw them away from here. That is a terrible idea. A new voice. Do-hyun opened his eyes. A Korean man stood in the doorway. He was tall and broad, with short gray hair and a face full of old scars. He wore the uniform of a security contractor. His eyes were sharp and hard. My name is Sha Minho, the man said. I work security on this station. Former special forces back home. I heard about what you did. He walked closer. Leaving will not solve anything. They will chase you, hunt you down, kill you in some dark corner of space where no one will ever know. Then what do you suggest? Do-hyun asked. Minho smiled. It was not a friendly smile. We stand and fight. The next few hours move fast. Minho gathered what security forces he could. It was not much. A few dozen guards. Some armed merchants who refused to run. A group of Veth warriors who had been passing through and decided to stay. The Pelori ship could leave. They had diplomatic immunity. The syndicate would not dare attack them directly, but they did not leave. Do-hyun found Elder Thomas standing at a window, looking out at the stars. You should go, Do-hyun said. Take Yura and Leary to safety. This is not your fight. Elder Thomas turned slowly. His gray skin showed nothing, but his voice was thoughtful. When you threw yourself on that child, the elder said, through a translation device, did you think about whether it was your fight? Do-hyun had no answer. The elder continued. The Pelori have always been careful. We calculate. We plan. We do not take risks that do not make sense. He paused. But perhaps we have been too careful. Perhaps we have forgotten what it means to act with the heart instead of the mind. What are you saying? Elder Thomas's was quiet for a long moment. Then his skin began to change. Slowly, the gray shifted to a deep, dark purple. "I am saying we will stay." The announcement went out across the station 1 hour before the syndicate arrived. Elder Thomas spoke directly to the incoming ships. His voice was calm and firm. "The human called Kang Do-yoon is under the protection of the Polari Concord. Any attack against him will be considered an attack against us. We will respond with all the force we have. This is not a warning. This is a promise." The syndicate laughed. Everyone heard it. They broadcast their response across all channels. "The Polari are diplomats, not warriors. You have 1 ship against our 3. Stand aside, or we will destroy you and take the human anyway." For a terrible moment, Do-yoon thought the Polari would back down. The math did not make sense. 1 ship against 3. A diplomatic vessel against warships. It was suicide, but Elder Thomas did not back down. "Then, you will learn what happens when you threaten those we protect." Sujin found Do-hyun in a corridor near the cargo base. She grabbed his arm and pulled him to face her. "What are you doing?" she demanded. "You are still hurt. You cannot fight." "I am not going to fight," Do-hyun said. "But I am not going to hide either. There are people on this station. Workers, families, children. If the shooting starts, someone needs to help them get to safety. You will get yourself killed. Maybe." Do-hyun looked at her. Really looked at her. She was strong and smart and braver than she knew. "But I cannot sit in a medical bed while others die for me. That is not who I am." Sujin's eyes filled with tears. She was angry. So angry. But beneath the anger was something else. Something she did not want to name. "Leary has been asking for you," she said quietly. "The little girl. She made you another gift. She wants to give it to you herself." Her voice cracked. "So you had better survive this. Do you understand?" Do-hyun smiled. A real smile. "I understand." Then the station shook. The syndicate had opened fire. Alarms screamed through the corridors. Red lights flashed. The floor trembled under Do-hyun's feet. Minho's voice came over the speakers. "All hands, defensive positions. This is not a drill. The enemy has engaged." Do-hyun looked at Sujin. She looked at him. Then they ran together toward the sound of chaos. Through the windows, Do-hyun could see lights in space. The Polari ship was moving, dodging, firing back with weapons it was never designed to use. It was a beautiful ship, graceful and delicate, and it was fighting for him. Another explosion rocked the station. Somewhere in the distance, metal screamed as it tore apart. Do-hyun did not know if they would survive the night. But he knew one thing for certain. He was not going to let anyone else die for him. Not without a fight. The battle was chaos. Plasma fire cut through the station's shields. Metal walls glowed red where they were hit. The air filled with smoke and screams. People ran in every direction. Some ran to fight. Most ran to hide. Do-hyun did not run. He moved through the corridors like he had moved through war zones on Earth. Calm. Focused. His body remembered what to do even when his mind was screaming. "This way." He shouted to a group of alien workers huddled in a corner. "The cargo bays have emergency shelters." "Go now," Sujin stayed at his side. She translated his words for those who did not understand. Her voice was steady, even though her hands were shaking. They moved through corridor after corridor. They found frightened families hiding in shops. They found wounded guards trying to crawl to safety. Do-hyun helped them all. His back screamed with pain. His wounds had not fully healed. Blood began to seep through his shirt. But he did not stop. In the command center, Minho was coordinating the defense. His voice was rough and urgent over the communication system. "The Polari ship is taking heavy damage. We need more firepower. Anyone with weapons report to the main docking bay. Through the station's windows, Do-hyun could see the battle in space. The elegant Palori ship was surrounded by the 3 Syndicate warships. It twisted and turned, dodging attacks, firing back with desperate precision. But it was only a matter of time before they wore it down. Then something changed. New ships appeared. A VIF military escort that had been passing through nearby. A Narali trading convoy that had been docked at the station. A human transport that carried soldiers heading home on leave. One by one, they joined the fight. What are they doing? Sujin whispered. They have no reason to help. This is not their battle. But Do-hyun understood. He had seen this before. On Earth, in the worst times. When everything seemed lost, sometimes strangers became heroes. They saw the Palori standing alone, he said. They saw a diplomatic ship fighting for a human it barely knew. And they decided to stand with them. The tide of the battle turned. The 3 Syndicate ships found themselves outnumbered. Their formation broke. One tried to flee. The VIF escort cut it off. Another took heavy damage and began to drift. The third fought until its engines failed. In less than an hour, it was over. Do-hyun collapsed against a wall. His body had nothing left to give. Sujin caught him before he fell. Medical team, she shouted. I need a medical team here. Darkness pulled at the edges of his vision. But before he let it take him, he saw something through a nearby window. The Palori ship. Damaged but alive. Its lights still burning in the darkness of space. They had won. Do-hyun woke in the medical bay again. The light was soft and white. The air smelled clean. The first thing he saw was a small face looking down at him. Liri, the little Palori girl. Her skin glowed a warm gold color. In her hands was a new gift. Another creation of twisted metal and colored string. This one was shaped like a person. A human. She has been here for hours, Sujin said from somewhere nearby. She refused to leave. She said she needed to be here when you woke up. Do-hyun took the gift. It was lighter than it looked. Beautiful in a strange way. Thank you, he said to the child. Liri smiled. At least, Do-hyun thought it was a smile. Her mouth moved and her skin turned a brighter gold. Yura entered the room. Her skin was deep purple with gratitude. Behind her came Elder Thoss. The elder approached slowly. For a long moment, he simply looked at Do-hyun. Then he spoke. Sujin translated. The Palori Concord has decided to honor you. We have a title that has not been given to an outsider in 300 years. It is called Delos Ren. It means shield kin, a protector of our children. He paused. From this day forward, you are family to the Palori. Our homes are your homes. Our children are under your protection, and you are under ours. Do-hyun did not know what to say. His throat felt tight. His eyes were wet. I do not deserve this, he finally said. I just did what anyone would do. Elder Thoss's skin changed. For the first time, Do-hyun saw a hint of color there. A touch of purple. That is precisely why you deserve it, the elder said. Because you believe it was nothing special. Because you cannot imagine doing anything else. This is what makes humans remarkable. Not your strength or your technology. Your hearts. Minho visited later that day. He offered Do-hyun a job with his security team. Good pay, steady work. A chance to protect the station that had become something like home. Sujin visited after Minho left. She brought a cup of Korean tea. She had found the ingredients somewhere on the station. How? Do-hyun did not ask. They sat together in comfortable silence. 2 Koreans far from Earth, surrounded by aliens, changed by events they never expected. What will you do now? Sujin asked. Do-hyun thought about the question. He thought about the war he had left behind. the memories he had run from, the guilt he had carried for years. "I think I will stay," he said. "This station needs people who care. People who will protect the weak. People who will stand between children and danger." He looked at her. "I think I found where I belong." Sujin smiled. It was a real smile, warm and bright. "Good," she said. "I think so too." Months passed. The station was rebuilt. Life returned to normal. The marketplace filled again with traders and travelers from 100 different worlds. Do-hyun walked through the crowds. He was stronger now. His wounds had healed into scars. He wore the badge of station security on his chest and the symbol of Thelos Ren around his neck. Aliens of all kinds nodded to him as he passed. Some with respect, some with curiosity, some with something like awe. Then he heard a familiar sound. Small feet running on metal floors. Leary burst through the crowd. Her skin glowed bright gold. She crashed into his legs and grabbed on tight. "Doyan!" She shouted in broken human language. "I made new thing!" "Come see!" Her mother followed behind, apologizing with shifting colors. But Doyan just laughed and let the small alien girl pull him along. This was his life now. Strange and beautiful and full of people worth protecting. He thought about Earth, about the mountains and the rain and the war that had broken him. He thought about all the people he had saved, all the people he could not save, and he thought about the future, about what it meant to be human among the stars. Humans were not the strongest species. They were not the smartest. They did not have the best technology or the longest history, but they had something else. Something that made other species stop and stare. Something that made enemies hesitate and friends stand taller. They had hearts that burned too bright to ignore. Do-hyun smiled as Leary dragged him toward her latest creation. This, he thought, is why we reach for the stars. Not to conquer them, but to find new lives worth protecting.